Because you know what, Joe? I got my pussy shirt on. I got my pussy shirt on.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Come on now. Come on.
Hey, what up?
Because I just don't care. Because, if they can be like, oh no, he said a bad word, and then come out wearing pink pussy hat. Remember that shit? Do people
Yes,
forget all this crap that the Democrats did?
and
The,
the
the
and the pussy costume. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember that.
the giant vagina.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember all that
All
shit.
that did was make them look like fucking imbeciles.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, they look terrible.
And I'm an artist.
Those they have no brain
I go
matter.
I go way and above art in a lot of ways,
Yeah,
and
that's
they're
bad.
still disgusting. And I mean the real libtards, the real fucking fucked up ones. But I will say it, I think they're fucked up on by, I should say, by our old government. They were poisoned. It's factual. There's no going back. If you don't know who Christine O'Brien is it Kristen? Christine? I forgot her name. It's been so long. O'Brien is Kathy O'Brien? Well, you'll find out. Go check her out. I'll look it up right now. No, Joe, look it up. She's the one that talks about MK Ultra. Well, I put on a thumbnail. I think I always think of her name
Did
O'Brien,
you
but
call her name Christine? What?
Christine O'Brien, Kathy O'Brien. She's like the first one that came out with and she names presidents. I remember her naming Ford. I mean, this how long it's really been like years since I watched her. Like 7 or 8.
Researcher?
She talks about MK. Just put in O'Brien MK Ultra. And if it's not O'Brien, then I'm totally out of ideas. It has to be O'Brien. It's not really a name I would forget O'Brien because
Oh,
he was,
Kathy O'Brien.
well, I said Kathy too.
Yeah, it's Kathy.
There you go. Look her up, guys. Because
Young
MK
and
Ultra
new.
existed, terrible vaccines existed. They came out in different countries in different years. It hurt certain people and not others. It also depends on your blood type. Then you gave kids medications. You These people shoved as if it was candy in these kids' mouths instead of teaching them how to behave with ADHD, which there's got to be numerous lessons, at least
Yeah,
by now.
what is giving drugs?
Right, give them fucking drugs. What do you think that does? What did you
Puffs them up,
think
leave them
that
off.
man-made drugs do to children? And they're supposed and no drug should be taken more than 3 months
Well, they were
unless it's
doing
a
mind control
lifelong
longer.
disease. It's supposed to help you get better, never to stay on it.
Evidently, it
Hold on,
don't
Joe.
because you have to keep renewing it.
Right? Oh, I have a nice thumbnail. Joe, you can share.
Okay.
I should have made you share
Fine.
before, but thanks for looking that up. Okay, because yeah, what did I thought it was cat. Well, it's all pretty much this very similar name. Okay, yeah, it does exist, and so I actually feel more bad sometimes than I do um being aggressive towards these idiots. They're idiot savants, but negative ones.
But you want to know the best thing? They're paid to be idiots.
A lot of them, or not pay. I mean, they just, I don't know. What are they getting? What are these judges getting? What cut are they getting? These lawyers and judges.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
getting
what are
paid
they getting
plenty.
exactly? That's the question. What
Didn't we
are they
just,
getting?
wasn't there just a CEO? Didn't I post that? Let me see. Oh, I love that one with RFK that I posted. Oh my God, I love my memes. I love our memes. They're
Why
not
did you
regular
share to
everyday
me,
freaking
Joe?
memes. What? Sorry?
Why did Joe share to me?
I don't know. 'Cause it's
Accident.
just
I'm
an
sure it's an accident.
automatic thing.
This was a good one. Y'all might disagree, but Johnny Carson was 100 times better than Jimmy Kimmel. And one of the answers, one of the comments in that, I forgot who says it, but one of our subscribers, he's like, I can't even, there's not 100 times better. It's like an infinite. You can't compare. And I agree with that. Here it is. Breaking Minnesota Food Bank CEO. Food Bank libtards. CEO steps down as legislators questioned her $721,000 salary that our taxpayers pay for. So instead of her making like $150,000 a year, which is pretty damn good nowadays still, right? And giving the rest of that to the food bank, no, this isn't acceptable. I remember getting calls, donate to the police precincts. You know, this happens a lot in the counties, like not in real cities, but in counties. They'll be like, support your volunteer firefighters or the cops or, the department, right? And this is back. I'm going, my grandmother was still alive. So I was like, what, 16, 17? It was a long time ago. Not trying to give my age out. But she read it herself, my grandma, or my mother read it, I think, to her. It says every dollar donated, the cops get 5 cents. It literally said that because I remember reading it not long after. So you donate to where? Where's that 95 cents going to? 25 cents going to the cops, 475 going. Now, if you don't see this as a pattern and realize that Trump is here to save us, I just have nothing else to say to you. Trump and Elon Musk are the most unlikely people in the world to be bought. Ever. Right? Does this make sense? Am I just like talking out of my
Nope. Makes so much sense.
nose? I have nothing else to say. We are catching crooks.
Yeah.
They're not deporting poor illegals that have been trying to get into this country for 25 fucking years, that worked every day, that did their taxes and donated their time to school or church or whatever the fuck they did. We're not talking about those illegal aliens because those people I would consider friends. It's not their fault that Obama came into office and said, hey, let's put in that chain migration and get all the fucking Muslims over here and start a coalition. Because there is a definite difference between real nice Muslim people that love their culture and happen not to eat sausage. Reminds me of the Jews. Okay? There's a big difference between that and people that are starting Sharia law in this country without even our government knowing. That is called a coalition. People that want to hurt us. They don't want to incorporate themselves with us. They want to rule us. This is not allowed anywhere. That includes thugs, gangs. Gangs in this country. It's illegal. Why would you think we would allow gangs from other countries? I remember a few of John's homicides with the Bloods, gangs. He had to read a couple of diaries and shit. They keep diaries, these people. That's how sick they are. They keep tabs on what they fucking destroy, who they rape, who they kill, what lives they've destroyed that day.
And their initiation into the gang.
Biggest thing ever, because tattoos are the biggest sign. Symbolism is everybody's downfall, not just the Illuminati. You can't tell me that they took this Maryland guy out when his fist says MS-13 on it.
On his knuckles, yeah.
It was on his knuckles, right?
Yes,
So
it was.
because he would have been killed if he wasn't MS-13. It is that simple.
Yes.
He needs to go. He needs to go now. No due process. He's a criminal. He's been
And
he's a
what did he have
five
to do
times
to get
over.
those officials?
He beat the
What
shit out
did
of
he
his.
have to do?
I can't hear you, Helen. What?
What did he have to do to get those initials tattooed on
Right.
his
He
on his
probably
knuckle?
killed someone. He definitely beat the shit out of his wife.
Sex
That's what men.
trafficker.
That's what liberal men seem to like. How is this
Dude,
possible
yeah.
unless their brain is fucked up? You can't expect us as a country to lower our standards to people that kill others, beat the shit, and this is all proven, don't go to court. Well, apparently he did, because according to John Kennedy, he's been to that one guy has seen like 17 judges. And it had to be because he went to court about the restraining order. I mean, so there is his due process, and he's not even supposed to have it because I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the fucking smartest lawyer in the world. You are not going to tell me that the Constitution was created for anybody else but the civilians in this country.
That's right. Only Americans that live here.
And like the
I will
liberals
sit
keep
down with John
screaming,
Kennedy
nobody
and
is above the law.
say it again.
Nobody is above the law. That's why they got to start nailing these judges.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and the lawyers.
Yep. Yep. They arrested a sitting president. They've done worse, and arresting these judges for not what they're doing, for doing wrong is right. But what they did was wrong, trying to arrest President Trump because he ain't done nothing wrong.
They all think he did. They're
Right.
poisoned. They're
They
just
are. They're
literally
minded.
poisoned in their heads.
They've been mind
They
fucked.
have, that is what they created this
Mhm.
time around. Like
Right.
the worst TDS. And
Yeah.
and they have nothing because they don't know
Yeah.
the political stances confuse them. They bite. All they do is bite, 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 bite. And when you bite back, it's like, ow, she was triggered. Oh my, I was triggered. Well, yeah, because we're dealing with your stupidity for decades now. Of course we're gonna get triggered. You guys are idiots. You're fucking foul fascist idiots. And I guarantee you couldn't define all of those 3 words that I just said. Because that's how stupid
That's
you are.
like the guy that was asking this lady and her husband, what is it that Donald Trump is doing wrong? Oh, he's doing so much wrong. Well, name a few things.
Well, look,
And
I'll
she
turn
goes
it
to
over to
her
my
husband,
husband.
and he's as dumb as she is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tedious. If you can't realize, if you can't think over, and listen, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, there's people in the conspiracy realm that are up to my level that believe that Trump was no good and is deceased, the real Trump.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's fine, Mama. I don't, just like the flat earth theory, I'm not going to argue with something I can't possibly know for fact. I can argue, debate. By the way, debating is just a very nice way of saying arguing. And then,
Yeah.
oh, who's the winner? Well, nobody's a winner, asshole. There's no such thing as debate. Conspiracies are not conspiracies anymore. These are facts. What I say are facts. I don't debate. I teach. First of all, yeah, I don't debate people, you know. It's like that was what's that kid's name? Joe. What was his name? I have it somewhere.
Which kid?
The one that wants me to debate him.
Oh,
Sage?
Sage Outcast, or whatever the fuck that name is. I don't know that. Yeah.
I
His
don't know
name
what he,
alone shows you he's no fucking good. His name is Outcast. Ta-da!
There you go.
I am not a debater. I am a teacher. I at this point I feel sometimes like I'm teaching children. I really do. Because like, no, I don't mean you guys. because you guys are awake. I mean, Joe, even though sometimes you and this guy Sage, I know he said he made a video of me. I don't care. My friend, I really just don't. I don't have the time to care.
A video.
It's just not. I don't know. It's not my. I have too much other shit to worry about
He was
than to
talking some
debate
other shit,
someone
wasn't he?
that
Isn't that the guy that was talking shit on one of the
I
things that
thought
we
he
did,
had
one of our
something to do with
videos?
the Marines. So I go on, I watch him for a while, and then he's sticking up for this MS-13 guy who we all know is an MS-13 guy from Maryland. That's what jogged my memory about him. And I'm like, what are you so we're gonna give the same we're giving the same concerns, kind of like to my husband who had 9/11 cancer, the same privileges almost to this MS-13 guy, because a citizen who fought for his country deserves everything by law, everything we could give him. Am I wrong? A soldier, right? But but I was comparing, and he was like, "Well, prove it." Now, how am I supposed to prove it? Come on, this is childish. How am I supposed to prove it? This is why I don't debate them. I'm on their chat. Poor dumb bastard doesn't realize that I didn't get mad at politics. I've been dealing with those okay, I've been a liberal independent since I'm 17. I've been a conspiracist since I'm 17. I've been waiting since I'm 17. I am now 48, going on 49. This whole time for someone like Trump to get in office, for somebody to tell me that there is a fucking plan out there. You don't know how fast I jumped on it when I found out there were so many other people like me, especially in 2004 when YouTube came out, my friends. I was on it like hot cakes, like butter on a hot cake. I watched airplane crashes. I watched those towers fall. I watched and heard things that most people can't stomach. To later marry a homicide detective. Go figure. Maybe I'm pretty good at this stuff. Maybe. You ain't taking my confidence away, honey. I didn't get triggered because of politics, because I've had people tell me, no way did our government, my husband for 20 something years, he still has a hard time believing that our government did the 9/11, took down the World Trade. I mean, come on.
Anybody that has eyes to see can see that that was a controlled demolition.
Correct. Because even they had specialists say that those floors were not, eventually it would have stopped. The floors wouldn't have gotten as heavy on top because there's still beams, and then there's sections with beams that go across. So the floors would have stopped crumbling. It was demolition. I mean, I've watched it all for years and years and years. And even before that, when I was in the paper, I knew there was something wrong with the media. And of course, it was the New York Times. Maybe that's why I always got the Post most of the time. In the bar, I would get the Post every morning. Smart girl.
I told you the other day, New York Times is nothing but birdcage paper. Fits perfectly in the bottom of a birdcage.
It's true. It's true. You were right. Dad only got it on Sundays because he liked the science and the technology sections. And I don't know how much of that was made up. I just know our science and technologies are 50 to 100 years advanced. Definitely in the military. If you don't know that, I am sorry. That theory has been around before I was born. So I give it a lot of credit because a lot of people have said it. Good people, very high up people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Including Ike Eisenhower talking about futuristic shit. So my whole point about debating is just a nicer way of arguing. It's a nicer word for arguing. I'm not going to do it.
That's all it is.
I don't debate children. I teach them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you so much. I don't care that you made fun of me. I'm flattered. Joe said he saw it passing by. He said he saw that you did it. I don't care. You told me you did one. God bless. I don't care.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go on to your subjects, Joe.
Huh? Going to
Let's
one of
talk
my
about at
subjects.
least one of the subjects.
Okay.
Because I could go on forever,
Right.
I won't though. I don't see he must not have listened to the video that I left him too, because I was calling him a doughboy, and I'm not usually like that. I can insult AOC, but I'm not gonna insult some guy I hardly know. I very rarely do that. But you're not special because I yelled at you, because ask Joe, ask Helen, I yell at everybody, ask my husband. I am a yeller because I'm very passionate.
Oh yeah.
I'm a screamer. I am.
Yes,
So
she
it's nothing
does.
special that I screamed at you, hun. But the fact is, the day before that, my brother, who is as libtardal, almost. He's a little better than you are, Sage. But fat had half his leg removed. And I actually said it in the video. But you're a libtard, so all you heard was the libtard shit, which is fine. It's fine. And you know what? I'll even apologize. But I was not in a very, between your mods making fun of 9/11 in a way and you trying to boost and trigger me. I get it. That's what the libtards do. Libturds, that's my new one. The sinister left, or libturds, because
Libturds.
they're nothing special. They're not the fruit that goes in their mouth. They're the shit that comes out the behind. Okay.
That's
So
why I've been calling them libtards for years.
yeah, I usually don't. Libtards was enough. It means that they're just slow to learn. Tard, like a tardant, is slow to dry. But no, they're a different species, and they have to understand that they're either incorporated. I guarantee most of them watch TV 70% of the week.
They have
Libturds.
become
Try not watching
sinister.
TV for 2 weeks. Try not watching any boob tube for 2 weeks. Okay? Just 2 weeks. And see how different
and,
that mind feels.
and stay away from flyby news.
Oh, absolutely. I don't watch news at all. If Joe doesn't tell me the news, if I don't watch Brian Craig sometimes in the morning, and if you want somebody to argue with, go argue with Brian Craig. And tell him I sent you. Tell him Sonia sent you. Because he's got demeanor. I've got angst. I want to go and beat the ever-loving crap out of you. But I can't say that. That's why I said I want to, but I'm not allowed to. Too bad. But that's the Brooklyn chicken. I just want to just go and, because that's what we do. I know I was brought Ukrainian, but I've dated enough Sicilians and Italians to know. Okay? And go smack your face. That's what we do. Sorry. I don't debate.
Backhanded too, where it hurts
I
more.
teach you a lesson. Right. You learn once. You smack the kid once and he'll never do it again. I promise. Libtards are like you. We talked about that the other day, Mama. And that's what these libtards are like. They're just children. They're big children. And when they find one that was actually triggered because her brother that is 50 fucking 1 years old had half his leg taken off because of fucking diabetes that we've known about all our lives, but he wasn't smart enough. So maybe that's a warning for you, Doughboy. Maybe I saw something in you, huh? All right. Triggered? No. 9/11, yes. You don't talk about 9/11 in any disrespect way or form. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard that before from anybody on the left side. I have never said that, hey, my husband had 9/11 cancer 3 fucking times, and even the libtards usually say, hey, I'm sorry for that, but let's defund the cops. At least there's some respect, but I didn't get it from them. Anyhow, what's your subjects today, brother?
The first one, student visas. A lot of it in the first 100 days of Trump's administration, 4,000 foreign visas have been canceled, revoked, 90% of whom have serious criminal records. Okay.
Yeah, so
This
they're looking
comes
to
from
come
the
to
New
the
York
rule.
Post. They were revoked for they've committed multiple crimes in the U.S., including arson, wildlife, human trafficking, child endangerment, domestic abuse, DUI offenses, and robbery. Over 500 have been charged with assault. Most of them are from Asia and the Middle East.
Of course they, no, why wouldn't we want to get rid of the sage? This is your debate. Tell me why we wouldn't want to get rid of this. Why wouldn't we want to get rid of people that, first of all, don't belong in this country? They're criminals for being in this country. Without, you know,
What do we need them
if
for?
they do this.
Why are we educating them?
Yeah, they're not obviously learning.
No.
The other thing
Protesting.
about this kid, you know, Mama, we were talking about it before. This kid Sage, I'll say his name one more time. I don't, Outcast or whatever. He came to me and said, "Why does your show only have 26 views?" Like I give a shit. I know there's only a few dozen, maybe 3 dozen people that specifically watch our show. Some other people tag along. There's about 180 to 100 conspiracy. I think there's about 100 conspiracists now in our group. And it's hard. And even upon conspiracists, they have their own conspiracies. Yeah. But we don't even have a schedule. And honey, we're not doing it for fame. If you notice, we're not asking for money. We're not doing it for views. Maybe you're doing it for that reason. I do it for the satire because I love to laugh and people need to laugh. And I do
Right
it because
now, especially.
I know that it doesn't matter if you're Republican or a Democrat. There are evil people that were Satanists, honey. And it's been a long time ago. It's been since before your great grandfather was born.
Centuries,
So
yeah.
we ain't doing this shit
Yeah.
for any kind of special reason other than I'm working for Trump. I help Q because Q, they're just soldiers, my friends. They're not some kind of conspiracy group. They're just soldiers with a Q pass, which is top intelligence. Right, Joe? It's top intelligence or the highest intelligence, right? That's all it is. So for all those people uneducated, like, oh, she's a QAnon. I first of all, I don't really follow Q. I don't have to. I'm up to their level. That's why I'm allowed to do what I'm doing and not getting shut down.
Yeah.
All right. So,
He was
honey,
just the top
you want
one.
some fame? Like I said, go and call into Brian Craig. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell him Sonia sent you. Dumbass. My name's Sonia. As if Sonia wasn't. That's the other thing. Well, Sonia isn't an American name. I'm like, yeah, because everybody goes onto his site with like their own name. Poppy Peppers and, Bunny Floppers. Yeah, they all go like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
bet you your
Omega
mother.
100. That's my name, fool.
I bet you his mother didn't name him Sage Outcast.
God, I hope not. I have no disrespect for the man. I honestly don't know him enough. And he might be right, but I am just not the one to debate. I don't debate. I don't. I'm teaching because my shit is right. Because I've been doing it for like, I don't know, 30 something years. I've been waiting for someone like Trump since I'm 17. No kidding. When Ross Perot was in, I was like, he's not evil. I could sense it. When Bush was in, I hated him. Hence the fact I'm a fucking independent.
I could stand Bush.
I didn't understand.
Both of
As a
them.
young kid, I didn't understand why Clinton was getting away with shit. And sure enough, here's something you might not know, Sage. But I interned in Albany and I was asked kind of similar things. To do similar things like Monica Lewinsky, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't half bad looking. And believe me, I was much better looking at 21, 22, 23 I was. Right before 9/11. And then 9/11 happened. So it was great year and a half of growing up pretty damn fast. You're also talking to someone who is in gangs. And you see what happens, and this is what should be taken care of with some of our some of the people who deserve to be in this country, right? They may have done things illegal. It might be minor, like I did as a kid. But by the time I was 16, as long as I showed I didn't do anything stupid anymore or get involved, because I did belong with a lot of gangs. I didn't do bad shit, but they did. All right? Because I am from Brooklyn, you bitch. I might be Ukrainian, but I'm from Brooklyn.
And
It
that's
wasn't
a
even a bad area.
long
Bay Ridge is not even a
way.
bad area. But yeah.
And if you're gonna fly your flag, we don't mind you flying your flag. Just make sure there's an American
American
flag
on
flying
top of
on
it.
top of it.
You don't know. Brooklyn, I don't know what, every couple of months there was a parade for something. The Norwegians, the Italians, the Greeks, everywhere. You guys have no fucking clue when you're out of the cities. You have no clue. And believe me, there are not that many libtards in Brooklyn. 90 fucking percent of my friends, I'd say almost 90% of the police force, and I know a lot of people, by the way, are Republican.
Conservative.
They're conservative. Because no cop wants to be shot. They want to go home to their newborn baby. Right? It's not their fault that they're following what the people above them tell them to do. See, that's what happened with the Satanists. That's exactly what happened with the Satanists. They took control and they were telling us what to do. You MK Ultra'd, my friends. You got too many shots in the arm or the foot. It was your year. And I'm sorry, you could surpass it, but you got to do it yourself. I don't know. You know what?
Next.
What is that?
Next.
Well, kind of the next subject is kind of along with the first one just there, with the Democrats going down to save that MS-13 gang member. They decided on our dime they'd stay in luxury hotels. So the four of them were sitting there taking a break. They took a tropical vacation during their time that they were supposed to actually go and spend with their constituents.
Of course.
Town halls, maybe,
Listen,
knock on some doors. Of course, they
Who
don't
is
do
it?
that shit.
Do they say who it is? Who are the four?
Yeah, we have before.
It's like,
Yeah, Representative Yas Ansari.
I'm sorry too.
Rep Dexter from Oregon.
I
Maxine
recognize his
Dexter.
name. I recognize his name.
Robert Garcia
It's
from
a man or a
Florida.
woman?
Woman. That was a woman.
It's Maxine. Oh,
Maxine
that's the
Dexter,
one they
the
make
old
fun
woman.
of.
Yeah, the old one
Max
looks like a
Dexter.
dude. She looks like a
Yes.
dude.
That's why okay.
And of course, Robert Garcia.
Which one's Garcia?
He's from Florida.
Which county? Oh, never mind.
And I don't know who the other one was. I can't remember.
So they went on. Look, the only reason Trump is allowing this, because the Republicans have the upper hand in the Congress and the House. So the only
Right.
reason Trump is allowing this is because we're trying to wake people up. You can't be I mean, I understand you not being pro-Trump, but you can't be pro people going to save one fucking guy and taking a vacation in a luxury hotel on your dime. This is
Yeah.
not right.
It's not. It's fake. Fake bullshit.
But the only reason Trump is allowing this to happen is for those people that are paying taxes, that are old enough to pay taxes, that understand that they're making over 20,000 a year and taxes aren't coming back to them. I mean, real people, workers, right? They have to. That's the only way for them to learn is to pay for it. But wouldn't you rather go on that vacation? Isn't that the way to do it?
Yes, definitely. That's the way I would want it to happen. I don't think they should be able to go to places like that on our dime. It's just not right. It's wrong for them to be able to do that, and it's wrong that the government would actually let them do it. It's completely wrong.
Sorry
That's
about
like
that.
we got to struggle to pay our mortgages and shit, and they got.
And we're allowing the left turds to go on vacation. What are you going to
Extravagant
learn?
luxury.
And
When are you
look at
going to
their
learn that
mortgages.
Maxine Waters, Newsom, Pelosi, they all have gates outside their houses? Liz Warren. Why do they have gates outside their houses, but we can't have a fucking wall keeping our little nation safe? Well, how is that? What is that hypocrisy? Why do you have a lock on your door? Hey,
Absolutely
libtards,
do.
leave. Your door's unlocked tonight. Let every MS-13 immigrant into your house freely, because that's exactly what you did to us.
That's right. Leave the
Tired of
red light on for them.
You guys are tiring because you're stupid and you think you have control. You think you do, but I don't know. Let's say, I say, I don't know. What do you think? 70, 80% of this country is MAGA. They want to make America great again. The only difference is that the libtards have the media, like Soros. You want to be like Soros, libtards? Do you? Soros is going after the media here in the United States. I don't
You
care if
know what
he's
it is?
Jewish, German, Aussie, whatever the fuck. Not what did you say he was, Mama?
Hungarian.
Hungarian. I don't care what he is. He betrayed the humankind. He doesn't deserve any part. I don't. Maybe the Constitution needs to be updated in some ways, huh? Maybe we need an amendment. No fuckheads allowed. Okay, let's add that into the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
No fuckheads allowed. Or Miller's Dennis Miller. Is it Dennis Miller? No. What's his Leary? Dennis Leary. He's
Right.
an asshole, an asshole. Let's not let him into the country because he's an asshole. I'm sure he'll approve. I'm sure he
Right.
approved because that man seems like he's educated. And he is an asshole, just like me, but he's educated. He's an educated asshole. Okay.
You know what these libtards want? They want MAGA, but on their terms.
Right.
What they want. They don't
Right.
want what's right.
The
They want
minority,
what they want.
the minority can speak, but the majority always rules. That is part of the Constitution. And guess what? If the majority of the people in America want these illegals out, that's why we voted Trump in.
Yeah.
We don't want Democrats taking our tax dollars anymore, or the CEO that stepped down from what is supposedly supposed to be helping people eat in our country, but taking almost what was it,
Wasn't it
fourths of $1 million.
475,000? Yeah.
What?
Wasn't
Yeah.
it 475,000 a
No, it
year?
was 700. It was over
Oh God.
700,000.
That's it. That's just why. Wow. Shit.
Three quarters of $1 million almost.
A year.
He was making instead of giving 500. Well, I can imagine 100,000 is just average nowadays
Well, how
because
do
of
you make
Biden
that much
prices.
money a year and think you're helping the homeless or the people that need to eat?
They're calling in about eggs. They're commenting and calling these shows. What about the prices of eggs? Are you retards? What about the price of life, liberty, justice, and freedom? We have no freedom if there's fucking illegals taking our money. That's a lack of our freedom.
Yeah.
Or the Democrats or anybody else that Doge, whatever the fuck it's called, has found. Elon Musk isn't even real. He's not a real dude. That guy was an Illuminati. He was killed. So all those that think Elon, oh my God, Tesla, go and beat them up. You're beating up our own money, you idiots. That's for our future. That's not really Elon Musk. I told you guys, as soon as I told you, go buy stock. It's been split way longer than I thought. It's so cheap. And now that millions of people, hundreds of millions has been taken out, it's even cheaper. It's time for the Americans to buy a little bit of stock.
Yeah, the people in Congress do it.
Right.
And they buy
Inside
plenty.
trading. That's what this is. This is literally inside trading for the conspiracists. Because we know that Elon is not his own company. Tesla is a man who went penniless by the Illuminati. He went. So who owns Tesla now? All Tesla's notes have been coming out, and they're real. They are real. In fact, I was practicing one on my arm, the Ankh, because the Egyptians understood how energy worked on this earth. This is not conspiracy. This is facts. It's facts. Because you don't mix limestone and mercury together and think nothing's going to happen. But the Egyptians knew. There were batteries that old. We have Egyptian figurines that look like astronauts. Now, how is that possible? It's not faked. It's been around way before we could fake anything like that. It's just wake up. Oh, and this impeaching Trump thing. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. I mean, come on. Seriously, I just told you, 75, 80% of America, besides the illegals. That's why the Democrats want them, the illegals in, because they think they're going to vote Democrat. But they're going to vote for whoever gives them more money. And I don't know. They are UN soldiers, guys. They're hired barbarians. It's that simple. It's the oldest trick in history. When a kingdom could not fight on their own, they hired men. And most of the time, you needed brutal men to do some of these things, because throughout time, the human race has been brutal. It's been disgusting, disgraceful. Now we have somebody who can actually progress more than the progressives can, the so-called progressives. And we still have people holding us back because they're MK'd ultra or had too many vaccines when they were a baby or stopped breastfeeding when they were like 2 months old. I don't know. And
Yes, most of these guys that are here now are all military age,
right.
and there's very few women.
And how do you think we were able? It was a. I'm sorry to burst your bubbles, libtards, but it was a plan from the beginning. The money was given out so we can know where the hell they are. Because a couple of $1 billion is not worth one person's life. And that's how Trump thinks. Get it? And let me tell you, Trump knows what I'm saying is to be true. He knows that there was over 80 million people that voted for him. He probably knows there's over 120 million people that voted for him. And I'll tell you how he knows. Not just the rallies, not just the people on Truth Social, right? He also has emails, text messages, donations. He's got regular everyday people like myself that give up fucking all my time to teach. Even if I'm wrong, I maybe I'm wrong a couple of times. I'm not wrong. I'm usually not wrong. Because I try not to say something and not have looked it up. If I do, I will say that I don't know it for certain. Because that's what smart people do. Mama, you remember why I said Trump wore that suit? Do you remember that talk? I'm wearing all
The
blue.
blue suit?
And my pussy shirt on, my pussy shirt on. I'm not exactly sure why Trump wore a blue suit, but I will tell you something about the words Trump and suit. They go hand in hand with my game of spades.
And Trump is the king of spades.
Ace.
Ace of spades.
That's right. He is the ace of spades. His suit is spade, or if you're playing hearts, he is the ace of hearts. Because he will always trump you. He knew this plan has been out for a long time. He's well practiced, and it's not even always him. Come on now. It can't be this. Sorry. I don't care if we had the technology to rebuild him. It is still not Trump doing all this shit. And it's not him working alone, and it's not him coming up with all these ideas. It's years and years of process. You can't have people just know all this shit. It just so happens that you turn on a YouTube channel, you find somebody new that knows all this shit. Because these people are part of Q, they're soldiers, they're part of the Trump plan. Whatever you want to call them. They're aware, they're awake.
And if people don't actually see that Trump, while this fake Biden was in office, that Trump wasn't pulling the strings all these years, this is why when as soon as he became president again,
Everything went into
they,
effect 1, 2, 3.
yes, because he's been working on this all this time. He's been out of the White House.
Correct. Down to our military weapons being left in the Middle East. Where was it left? In Afghanistan? People,
Yeah,
there's a war between Israel and Palestine. Our shit is over there, not for the bad guys. No. There's bad guys. Because I'll tell you something. The Hamas and the ISIS were already down to nothing. ISIS was gone when Trump was in
yeah.
office.
Trump wiped him out on his first go round.
No Hamas growing so big that they can fight the army of Israel, people think. They're fighting the Khazarians, the Jesuits, the Zionists, the different sects of the Jewish army, which aren't Jewish. They're Satanists pretending to be Jews in Israel. The Pope. Who likes the Pope? Not MAGA, not Trump. I don't even think the left liked the Pope, and yet he stuck up for them. Because it doesn't belong in the Vatican. It doesn't belong in the Catholic Church. I don't believe in the Catholic Church. I think it's an organized religion for the most part. Not everything, but for the most part, in most states, yes. And a lot of Catholic churches are used at night for something absolutely more sinister. Have you ever gone to a cemetery at night and seen kids? No, it's in the church. They wouldn't do that. They're not going to go to cemeteries and worship there. They're going to go to the Bohemian Grove. And if you don't know what that is by now, please go look it up, because that is 200 acres of pure bliss for them to do hell's crap. Anything Beelzebub wishes them to do. Thinking they're wise, they worship a giant owl. They are not wise. Trump was wiser. Q was wiser. We were the wiser ones. And even though I'm not actually in the army, I am a soldier, and Mama Helen is a soldier, and even our friend Joe here, who tells the news, is a soldier. Because he at least is not close to the ideas. He's not close to the ideas. That's half the battle. At least try to think outside the box. Maybe admit that you really don't know what's going on. What has happened in our history that a group of people really sinister tried to control us. The whole tariff war. I think Joe has a little article on it. But I'll say this. The reason China won't give in is because they own 40% of DC. Meaning most of the Democrats and a lot of these, probably all the rhinos, like Swalwell, I don't know who's rhinos on ours. I don't know. Mega rhinos. Well, how could they even be? I don't even understand that term, but they're getting paid by the CCP. So what's happening is that their money is going to be shut off, not China's, because that money is just coming right back here. 40% of them, probably more. 40%. I said 40% of China owned DC maybe about 7-8 years ago, maybe 9. So it must be like 50 or 60% when they got their little paws in. These are elite people.
They now own most or a lot of our farmlands, our pigs and cows, and the meat gets shipped to they get shipped to China, and they send it back the way they want it.
I believe it. It's gross. Listen, I know, I taught Katrina, a little Chinese girl. Her parents, she's been to China. Her parents are from China. You know, father barely spoke English. I loved him. Loved these people. They owned a little store down the block. They worked their fucking asses off. They had a little heater during the winter, even though their whole front was open. You don't get it. There are some immigrants that work. I never even asked if they were legal. But I taught their little girl. I taught their little girl for years. And I even had her come to meet my mother before she passed. I have nothing against immigrants. Are you fucking kidding me? I've taught Muslims. I've taught Greeks. I can't even tell you. I never even thought of it because in Brooklyn, you don't see who's brown and who's white and who's black and think, hey, I wonder what they are. Or are they MAGA or not? That never happened. That never happened. Not until Obama. And even at that, nobody really gave a shit.
You want to hear something funny?
Of course.
My son, when he was in kindergarten, had such an ethnic friendship with his friends. He had a Greek, he had a Polish kid, he had a Chinese kid, he had an Italian kid, and he had a Spanish kid.
I never even thought about it growing up. I never thought about it.
30 somewhat years later, my son is still friends with these same kids from kindergarten.
There you go. There you go. I have a couple. I definitely have a couple friends from childhood that I still keep in touch with, and I never saw them as anybody else but a Brooklyn or happy person. I mean,
and they're all still best friends.
That's a bit too cute of a happy ending.
Yeah, and you know what I loved about it? One day I was watching them. I went on a class trip with the kids, and this whole little melting pot was all sitting under a tree playing together. And I thought that was the sweetest, most precious thing I ever saw in my life. And yet to this day, like I said, they are all still best friends.
That's sweet. I mean, I don't know. I just can't be bothered with that fake racism. And
right, I have these kids in my house all the time. They would come over for dinner. When we had blizzards and snowstorms and stuff, I would call their mothers and tell them they're sleeping at my house. And I'd get up in the morning and I'd be stepping over these kids.
Yeah. I was the same in my house. And I'm sick of the anti-Semitism too. Now, Candace, oh, sorry. Candace Owens is another, I don't know, she's gone bazonkers.
Yeah.
I don't want to even go there, but as far as anti-Semitism goes, I have a lot of Jewish friends. I've said this before. In Brooklyn, there's a lot of Jewish people. In my neighborhood, a lot of Muslims went there, which is very strange because Borough Hall is a hop, skip, and a jump away from Bay Ridge. So you got Borough Hall, which is all the Hasidic Jews and Jewish people. What's by the mall over there, King's Plaza? Gravesend? Mill Basin?
Gravesend.
Is Gravesend there too? Where's
Gravesend?
Isn't that Jewish too, John? And what about Gravesend? Is that Jewish?
A little bit, but not big.
Not as big.
Midwood.
And I'm not even kidding. Midwood, yeah, that's right.
I said Midwood.
Yeah, I know.
No, we're agreeing with you.
We're agreeing. John was
Midwood.
agreeing with you, Helen. And he says hello, by the way. Hello, Mama, he said. And then you have Bay Ridge, which conveniently became very, very Muslim in a very short period of time while Obama was president. I am not racist. I am just saying facts. Okay. You can ask anybody that still lives there. Right. And it was a little disturbing in some ways. I could deal with the halal stores. I would go in, they had the freshest nuts. But you don't throw meat on the floor and then put it in the stores.
Ew, gross.
That's not how you do. And is this just the way they did it? I don't know. But I happened to notice it in one of the new halal stores that opened up. Another thing, they think they're better than you. Okay, they think they're better than, not all of them. Absolutely not all of them. But I realized this when at the parades and stuff, where everybody it's a parade. You know how to walk through bazaars and parades. There's fun things and there's food things and there's band things and there's shop things. It's a parade. You walk through it. Not a parade, what do we call them?
Bazaar.
Festival?
Yeah, bizarre.
Bizarre.
Bazaars. Well, usually we'd have a parade and then the bazaar would go up. There's different foods from all ethnicities, from Italian to Greek. I mean, you name it. There's fucking goat
Right.
being spun.
Fun
I
time.
mean, this is how it is. Every
I
ethnicity,
remember
they are
I
not
like
better.
those
Wait, let me
things.
finish, Mama. They are not better, but they did do things to me personally. Like I've been pushed because they're better. They're better. They pushed me many times. Not just during this incident. There's been stores incidents and stuff. And still, I don't know who's bad or who's good or who's, thinks they're better than me or not. I would hold the door if they go in with the baby and the baby carriages. But I realize if they don't say thank you, then they don't fucking deserve to be here because they don't understand.
and they'd let the door slam in your face.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because they're better than you. And this is not part of the American dream. You're not better than people. You're part of the nation.
That's right.
You're part of the nation
You're
that
part of
makes
the
it
whole.
tick. You're part of the whole, part of the machine, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. And we don't need cogs like that to stop it.
No.
And that's why Trump's idea of immigration by merit is absolutely the most fantastic idea. Now, I'm not saying they can't be rude. That's, if you're rude, yeah, there's plenty of rude Americans. I'm not saying you can't be rude. But yeah, if you've been arrested 6 times, it's time for you to go. And you're not a citizen, it's time for you to go.
I
Especially if you're
remember when
committing
Bay
crimes
Ridge
here
was
against us. Go ahead.
No, you shared, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite extensively.
I remember when
I
Bay
did not.
Ridge was Greek, Irish, German. I don't know when you moved out of Bay Ridge, Ca, but my son moved out of there 7 years ago. Okay. And before he left, it was all Muslim.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like they talk about Deer Stag. Is it Deer Stag? And they're talking about that place in Epic that they're opening. They're trying to get open in Texas. That
Texas.
won't happen.
Yeah. A new
Again,
town. Yeah. That's not happening.
that's not how this is supposed to work
No,
in
they
this
stopped
country.
that.
Patterson, New Jersey.
Patterson is
Patterson,
really
New Jersey.
bad. Patterson is really bad.
They don't want no Americans in it. They're only filling up that whole town with Muslims.
See, that's not right. You're supposed to incorporate your culture into America. You could have a Muslim neighborhood, but anybody is allowed to walk in it, and anybody is allowed to walk their dog because that's freedom of this country. That's another thing that they think you're not allowed to walk your dog because I'm Muslim. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm allowed to walk my dog because I'm in America, sweetheart. Right? There are countries that eat dog. I'd like to go and, chop their little fingers off, but I can't. It's their country. It's up to their citizens and their government to say, oh, that's gross. That's unhumane. All right. But you don't tell me
Well,
not to
according to
walk
them,
my
they're
dog in
not
front of my
gross.
own fucking property either. Right? This is my property and this is my country. It's Helen's property, Helen's country, Joe's property, Joe's country before any fucking illegal ever.
That's right.
That's
That's
our due
right.
process right there.
That's right. And if they didn't stop at the border for due process to come in, they don't deserve it on the way out.
They don't.
Sorry, it's just the
They
way
do
it is.
not. All right, what's next, Joe? Did you have something? I think you had one other.
Good. What was the last thing I
I
talked about?
actually told about the impeachment, and that was it. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
Okay. About the guy that's from, you know,
Oh,
he's
you
from
want to talk
India,
about
right?
him? You could
You
talk
do
about
know
him.
he's from India, right?
So the guy who's trying to impeach Trump is from India?
That's where he was born. Went to school over in India and got his PhD in the United States, stayed here, and then got elected into our Congress and became a traitor. I don't know how these people are becoming Congress people in it's not right. It's not right.
And they're even sworn in on the Quran.
Right. They're not even
Dr.
they're not
Seuss
putting their hand
book.
on
Dr.
the Bible.
Seuss.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Nobody likes it. It's not the right way to do
It's
things.
not.
I'm not even religious, but I absolutely prefer those hands being on a Bible.
Me too. Me too.
But to be honest with you, their words, if they're Satanists, what does that even mean? Their
Nothing.
hands would go on fire.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It doesn't mean anything.
But it calms
That's,
the American spirit.
but it's, yeah, but no, because now we know who the Satanists are,
Yeah.
don't we, Joe?
Yes, we do.
The ones that don't put their hands on the Bible are people that
Yeah.
most likely
Yes.
are atheist, and I have no problem with atheists. You don't want to believe in a God that's your own. I think there is something, there's a higher source. I don't know if it's God or what, but there's definitely, I mean, we weren't put here by ourselves. We didn't just, appear one day. I just don't, that boggles the mind. There is something I wanted to talk about. This is really gross, but a lot of these YouTube shorts from China are like, you watch people put sprinkles and epoxy and they mold it, and I don't mean making artwork. I'm just like they watch people popping pimples and all this shit. It's like the
Gross. Yeah.
Ew.
yeah, there's a
That's
lot of
gross.
this crap out
As
there.
long as you didn't say it was going to be gross.
I warned you, but I want to get this straight. A lot of it is not real. I'm not talking about the doctors and stuff. I don't know, but like there's one that I can't believe this shit. There's one that there's these people that put a hoof up, and they're changing the hoof, and the hoof is infected, and it's a cow or a deer. I don't know what the hell it is, but most likely a heifer or something, and they're chopping off the shit, and they're chopping, and all this crap is coming out, and he's pulling out the shit, and people are like in awe. Wow, you did such a great job. And there's one guy, he's there. I've been a vet for 30 years and I've never seen such a thing. Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? This is like Nickelodeon crap that they're sticking in the hoof. It's all fake. First of all, an animal like trapped in a metal thing would be moving. That was my first sign. The second, I recognize the sign from fucking Nickelodeon. Like these things that they do, these Chinese people, they do it for money because people
Yeah.
donate to them. And it's a lot
Mhm.
Chinese. It's a lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
Um,
When you watch their shit, they make money.
they do. A lot of them drug puppies and kittens just enough to keep them out, tie them up and put them somewhere.
Yeah.
They do this in India too.
Mhm.
I watch YouTube a lot. I don't watch TV. I try to watch actual videos or things like us, like shows like us. So they drug these puppies and animals, leave them. How do I know this isn't real? Because they don't take them to a fucking vet. If I saw a kitten tied up like that, that's not responding. Even if I didn't have the fucking money, I would take it to the vet and say, hey, I don't have money, but I found this kitten. What the fuck do I do? You don't fucking take it home, give it a bath, try to force feed it water. That's not what you do. Then, the best is tiny, tiny kittens just born are being found all over the place, not by the mama. these little I mean, kittens can make it far, don't get me wrong, but these are kittens outside where there's they're not fucking 25, 30 feet away from mama. All of this is fake, guys. Watch what you donate money to. Rocky Kanoka, I think is his name, has a company. He does flip coffee. He just takes money, and all the money that he gets donated goes to the dogs. He sits with dogs. Very special guy. You love animals, go to him. You gotta watch, because I can't believe how many people these people are making thousands of dollars a month, because you know how many Chinese people there are that donate $5. Oh, this is cool. I want to, and maybe they don't even care. But I'm looking through the comments, and when one guy says, "Hey, I've been a vet for 30 years and I've never seen something like it," I was like, "You've never seen anything like it because it's fucking fake." And like the very next 2 hours, I checked, I had 7, 8 likes already for my comment under, his comment under like 50 other comments. I mean, come on. Don't be stupid, people. We're even watching a movie. We're watching a movie.
We're living a movie.
We're living a movie. Exactly. Bad one. Speaking of Chinese.
I ran out of popcorn already.
Yeah. Speaking of the Chinese, Trump, they're blasting back against Trump's tariff war. They said they will never kneel down. Right? That's amplified by their country's troves of propagandists on social media. They say that
from the
China
Post?
won't back down to the voices of the weak will never be heard. That doesn't make sense. When the rest of the world stands together in solidarity, the U.S. is just a small stranded boat. We might be a small stranded boat, but this is the economy that everybody needs to sell to, no matter what anybody says.
So they got eggs, but the egg prices.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen to that. The egg prices. They were at $9.15, right, during Joe Biden's last days. Right now, they're like, I think the last time I went, it went down to like $4.15 for the same product that I bought. So
yeah, here in New York, we were paying 15. Then they went down to like 11. And I think when I went food shopping yesterday, they were
for eggs,
6 and change.
New York.
Yep.
How much was it last time? I'm sorry, I missed it.
6 and change yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than half. Holy schnickies. Thank you, Trump.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to know prices, ask New York, because they're the highest tax for everything. Like, I think California and New York, I still think New York is higher taxed. Why not? They have the most people.
Both places.
California, I believe it.
I used to tell the guy that was stacking the eggs on the shelves, I left my grandchild over there for these eggs.
There you go.
$15 for a fucking dozen eggs. Are you kidding? And then we didn't have any at all because they were fucking up the chickens that were laying the eggs, and they were saying the eggs were bad, so they couldn't sell them.
Right.
But you see,
and
that
then
was
they
true.
fucked up the chickens so they could kill the chickens so they couldn't lay the eggs.
But I think that was all true. I think that was from RFK.
And it takes 3 months from a baby chick to become an egg layer.
Right. Just like the baby food, just like some of the stuff that they have for in like the dried powders, like the mac and cheese and what other stuff uses like dried powders, like popcorn sprinkles,
like those side dishes and
even
like the Nor.
Yeah, right. chicken bouillon. I think Joe said, these are dangerous products, my friends. Your kids should not be eating it. I don't know if onion dip is, you know, but certain things, uh,
There's a
it
lot
has
of
these
ingredients.
byproducts in it.
Right. When you read the ingredients in our foods and you read the same product in another country, there ain't all that shit in there.
Right. They put more shit in our food than they
They
do in
were
other.
banned. That shit that's in our food was banned in other countries. Like the
Exactly.
Right.
food
Wrong.
dyes and
He already
the
banned,
preservatives and shit.
RFK already banned 4 different food dyes. Just
Mhm.
food dye. Just food dye. Can you fucking imagine what the hell was in our eggs? Bill Gates were poisoning our chickens. He was practicing in India and Africa like 2 decades ago. He started that shit. Charles, I wanted to thank you, Charles, if you're listening. Thank you for that comment in Mega Funk. He said something towards our thank you to our fearless leader or something. I'm like, oh shucks. I need people like you to help this poor little girl learn everything, even if it's the flat earth shit that I'm still like having a problem with. Because I found the lines, the Hatchikanakanen freaking lines in Louisiana, I think, in the water, and they're all even, and it clearly shows that the earth is, because you got to be able to see, I think, 60 miles in to see the curvature of the earth. So it's an even thing, and you see it bending. I'll have to show that. We'll do the flat earth again because a lot of people like it. I have nothing against it. I really don't. If we live in a matrix, what's the flat earth? I mean, there's questions upon questions. The
You
flat
know
earth
what
is
gets me
important
about
to
the
flat
flat
earthers.
earth?
It's not important to me. I don't know why. Because why? I'd rather fix what's down here. This job is an obligation. What is that, Mama?
You know what bothers me about the flat earth
Hmm. What?
is that how come places like Australia and the Mediterranean and all that other stuff, how come they're on a different time zone? Like um it's daytime when it's nighttime here.
Because because the sun is on top of us and inside the firmament. It's not as big and it's not as far away. So it goes onto their side and then it comes onto our side. Like I think they believe it's a figure 8. To me, it doesn't make much sense because that means the equator is the North Pole or close to there or something. Well,
Well, don't
more,
some of them believe that there's two suns?
I guess it would be the equator then. Yeah, I okay. So a lot of the stories, oh, that's another thing I wanted to go over. But a lot of the stories they tell are true, even Star Wars. Now, if you remember Tatooine, which is a true place, it's a place in the Middle East somewhere. I don't think it's maybe Malaysia or somewhere. I forgot. Um, and they use this, even though people think it's a cool name. Oh, it sounds alien, but no, it's a real place in this world. And they claim that there were 2 suns there. Now, if the flat earthers are right and believe that there's an outer ring that we can't get to, that we're part of the earth, but we're only the inner ring, then there's a sun circling there too, and it's a second sun, and we can see it on top of our highest mountains like Fuji or Etna or something. Do I believe it? I don't know, but it is an interesting thought because a lot of these movies have been telling us the truth. Because they're so stupid they can't think of anything else. They're so inbred. Remember, Joe, when I told the story about that what's his name? David Wolf. Was it David? Rick Wolf? No, what's his name? No, Rick Harrison. Okay.
Who cares?
One that did the Pickers, the American Pickers.
Yeah, the one dude, the skinny dude, right? The tall, skinny dude.
Yeah, the owner really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Wolf. Okay, Mike Wolf is his name. They're saying that he actually might be. I never. I like Rick Harrison, and then I don't. Um, I don't like what he did to people. I just don't. I don't like the way he made his money. I just don't. I don't. It takes it takes some of the art away from it. I can't explain it. But they said that he might have been in collusion, aiding and abetting Mike Wolf, Rick Harris from Pawn Stars.
Huh.
I know he lost one of his kids died. I don't remember how. It might have been a drug overdose, but I don't want to say that for sure. I find it interesting that these little things get on. I'll even actually let me show this.
Sounds like a sacrifice.
It would have been very late in the game though. But yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Mama. Would have been a little late in the game, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, I'm gonna share something Mama Helen has been sharing with us. You guys can watch it for yourselves. I have not yet watched it. I was too busy doing artwork and looking at this guy, looking at the lighting, looking at how bad it looks and the grainy it looks. But this guy says he's actually John F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I remember.
AKA something Quigley,
Shit. Sorry, I
the
didn't
new
mean.
name.
What is that?
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You remember that picture with Lark and the bird?
Yes.
I want you to pull that picture up and look at his ear and see if it's the same as this guy's.
That's not the same guy. Where would I have that? I know where I have it, but I don't want to go to the other group. Do you have it, Mama?
No. That's why I asked you to look.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I could do this. I'll see if I could find it. Joe, you have anything else to talk about while I'm doing this?
Oh, I probably do.
So I'm gonna try to find this because I think I do. I do have it right there. Let me
No,
see.
our job growth
You
grew
can't
for the
see
last
his
100
ear,
days.
Mama. Hold on, Joe. Hold on. You can't see his. All right. All right. Go on, Joe.
We had job growth in the last sector.
We had job growth.
Mhm. Yeah, the employers posted 7.19 million vacancies on the last business day of the month, down slightly from 7.48 million in February. How about that? That was for March.
But eggs. I'm
But
so
eggs.
the fucking. That's all they could come up with.
Yeah.
It's all
So
they
in
could
his
come up with.
in his first 100 days, he's added 345,000 jobs, secured a $5.2 trillion worth of new investments, revitalized American manufacturing, and expanded apprenticeship opportunities for the skilled trade jobs of the future, along with all the deportations going on.
I was going to say that's because a lot of deportations took place.
Mm-hmm. And he's almost done
Tell me where's that.
letting the education go back to the states. That's almost done.
Yeah.
We're going to close down
So
the
tell me
Department
where
of
it doesn't make
Education.
sense, Democrats.
Yep.
Stop it. He's saving us from evil, and you're just in this like evil. If they don't start giving off these good vibes, they're not going to evolve with us. That's all I'll say. You guys are so low on the vibe rail.
Saving us
And
money.
I don't have patience anymore because I've been waiting my life for this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting my whole life. Nobody's gonna
Right.
tear it down. All right, here, Mama. It doesn't show much of it. Hold on, let me get you guys out of here because I realize that the other video slows the video down. Tell me you can hear it.
Oh, good luck.
See, he's got that indent in his eyebrow.
There you go.
He's got one there. That's why I thought it was.
No, I didn't do it properly. Come on, you can do it.
That
Good boy.
Good boy.
here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
Damn. It's too fast. Let me see if I can find. Yes, guys, ears are like a thumbprint, so don't think it's odd that I'm trying to find his ear. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to see. But it does look big because
Pause it.
I can't, Joe. I can't get it in time. What do you
And
think I'm
kind
trying
of
to
like
do?
that Adobe shape. You know,
There you go.
you know the Adobe, what do you call it? Symbol.
Yeah. It's really hard to, this guy's ear is not bad either, guys. I am an artist. I've been doing this for a long time. A very, 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 very fucking long time, like my whole life, pretty much. And it's very hard to tell because he's got a hat on. These are signs that I don't like. First of all, there's only 650 people that watched this in 2 weeks, and there's only 37 views with the 118,000 subscribers. Why he would call it The Quiet Journey instead of John F. Kennedy Jr. to look it up is another thing. The pixelation is bad. Very, very poor. It almost seems like it was done in the 70s or 80s. Almost. Maybe late 80s, early 90s. His fur covers a lot of his ear, but the ear, like I said, is like a thumbprint. It will tell exactly if it's a person, if it's the person or not. His ear is quite like this little boy's. It is very, very similar. I'm not going to deny that.
Even his eyes, they don't open up wide.
Well, the real Junior too. Maybe you should explain though that why they think this isn't the real Junior. He's got very slanty eyes too, Mama. He
Yeah,
does.
but not slinky, but his eyes are wider.
Yeah, but when you
open
get
wider.
older, when you get older, the eyelids get longer. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, but when he was a baby, the eyelids were the eyes were closed. See his eyes? Now if you go
No,
back to the picture,
no, that looks like no, I don't agree with that. Sorry, that looks like that. That definitely looks like that.
and that's not supposed to be the real JFK either, according to
Yeah,
this guy.
explain that.
That is George Onassis, Aristotle Onassis' son, because they were living in Greece.
Well, that's what this program says, right? That's what this journey, the quiet journey explains.
Yes.
Now tell them about Jackie too.
Oh, that she was MTF,
Yeah.
male to female.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, a lot of pictures. What'd you say, Joe?
That's weird. Changing
Yeah,
sex. I
there's
don't
a
like
lot
this
of.
changing sex thing, man. It just bothers me.
I saw something also that said that she was MTF. And then looking at pictures of her, you could see in some pictures she's got the elongated arms like a man. There are certain pictures where she's got the Adam's apple.
Hmm.
She was always wearing gloves to cover her hands, the shoulders in some pictures.
She's got a big ass neck and a big ass head. I never thought she was pretty. Never.
And she's
She's
got a square forehead like a man.
She does. She's got that widow peak, two of them, three of them, four of them. I mean, I don't. Some
And I
some of them
can't
look like a
remember,
woman.
I can't remember what her voice sounded like because I never really heard her speak.
We'll do that next time, I think. See, she's got no body shape, which
Mm.
happens to women. Some women don't have natural hips sometimes. But
But
I
she
mean,
looks like a 12-year-old little boy.
yeah, she does. She's got a very big face, man. So, but
And
some
a
of
long
them,
torso, a very long torso.
and her head might even be covering most of that Adam's apple if she does have one, which they shaved down, so it's not really an excuse. But I'll tell you something, her
Look at the
shoulders are very,
jawline.
what?
Look at the jawline. It's square.
Well, women have square jawlines too, Mama. It's not common, but they do. But I do agree, it's not pretty. It's not. There's some pictures she does look like she could be a man, which is scary because usually you know if it's a man or a woman.
You know who
But
she reminds me of? That Bud Light bitch.
which one's that?
Mulvaney.
That stupid guy. Yeah, Mulvaney.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. The guy with the pigtails, yeah.
Yeah.
Men usually don't have that hair, the widow peak quite like that. See, she looks womanly there. She still has a big
Here,
neck.
she looks like a man.
To me, she looks like a woman. I don't know. But her neck is so huge. That bothers me. Her neck is really big. And there are pictures of the muscles that, let me say.
That men
And
have in their neck than women have.
yeah, on their shoulders over here. Here's Alec Baldwin, but you can't see it. But men have these trapezoids or whatever. Joe, what are these muscles called
Yeah,
above the men's shoulders? There's a couple of pictures. Wow, look at that. That's a man. That's a fucking man, Mama. What is that? That don't look right at all. All right, the other thing is she may have had a man play her some of the time. You guys
For
understand that, right?
protection,
Just like Trump,
like
other
protection.
Trumps. So it is very possible because her shoulders are so petite to be a man. But you know who could play something like that? A man that can dislocate shoulders, that can have, there are ways around it.
A small guy like Fauci, because Fauci is not
Fauci's a
wasn't
woman.
a man.
Fauci was a woman. I'm trying to find that one with her arm because her forearm had a muscle that the men have, like the ulna. I think no, the ulna is the bone. I'm sorry, I don't know my biology that well. I know biology differently. Yeah.
I'm terrible at it.
But there was one where her forearm was showing and she had that muscle, and I'm like, look, I exercise. I'm a big fucking girl. I mean, I'm small, I'm petite, but I'm very muscular. You wouldn't think it, but I really am. And I don't have what she had. Oh, I think this was the picture, but no, maybe this is the one on the. See, that's a man. That's a man, my friends. That is not Jackie Onassis. So she either had a double or something else, Mama, because
And that's her sister. That's supposed to be her sister or his sister, whatever.
now I know we ate better back then. We didn't have all this crap, but these women have absolutely no. No, that's not women. That's a dude.
Look at her calves in that picture.
Yeah, I know.
And her
I know.
shin.
That was a man. This looks like a woman.
Yes, that looks
Still
like a
very
woman, but I can
bizarre.
also depict an Adam's apple too.
I don't know if I see it. It could be shadowing, but there shouldn't be shadowing if there's no Adam's apple. Get it? Because an Adam's apple makes shadow. See, she doesn't have one there. I'm thinking that she had a man half the time be her. That's what I'm thinking. Very good
And you
lookalike.
know how you could tell these are different pictures too? This one right here, the third one on the right, on the third row down, the last one on the right.
This one?
Look
Oh,
at all the baby. No, move one over. No, the other way. The last one, that one. You notice she's got a lot of what you call baby hair, which makes you think that it's somebody different than the real Jackie Onassis. She don't have these in a lot of the other pictures. That hairline
well,
with the baby hair.
don't get me wrong, and I don't know for sure, but a lot of times they wore wigs back then. A lot of times.
Yeah, they did wear a lot of wigs, right?
Yeah, I know that.
Wig City.
But the baby hair is a new thing which the black chicks put on their
Oh no,
forehead.
she's got widow peak. That's widow peak. What nationality is she?
With a
Joe,
name
look it
like
up.
Jacqueline
What
Bouvier,
ethnicity is?
she's French.
Huh.
Okay.
She's an
I'm
odd
saying.
looking girl. She really is. She has that, it's not a disease, but there's this thing that like 5% of the people have, maybe
Yeah, with the
10%,
nose and the wide eyes.
where they have wide eyes, yeah. I'm not telling you, Mom, I'm telling them. We actually went over some of this last night. And yeah, there's the wide-eyed thing, which makes her very unique looking, also alien looking. She looks like I'm sorry, Elon Musk looks alien too. He's not real, people. He's not real. See that those legs don't look even with stockings and without, you can tell they don't look the same as the other one. I really don't
Right.
know what to think. I think there's two. I think they play actors and actresses and they tried to she
Well,
was
according to that video from Quigley that's supposed to be JFK
breastfeeding.
Jr.,
Yeah.
they said that he watched them kill his mother and sister. So she had to play, there had to be another one playing her.
I don't look, if that's JFK Jr., it is. He's trying to get out his story. I mean, there's the guy that pretends to or says he's the king of England, that he's in Australia. Was that John something Edwards?
Yeah, I
I
know
can't
who you're
remember.
talking about because I know that and he said he was the king of England or something too.
That he
And
has
right
the
after
real
he came
lineage
out,
of the blood of Jesus.
right, and when all that stuff came out, all the what do you call it, were taken down off the castles and the places where the what do you call it stand, the crests.
Mm-hmm. Ha, crests. We're gonna learn about crests because family crests, man. Why do you think they survived? Names, right? Names, family crests,
Names
royalty.
are everything.
Yeah. Because these people were inbred motherfuckers. They had to change their names because otherwise
You
we would
notice
have caught
any of the
on
royals,
centuries ago. Huh?
you know, any of the royals, they do not, none of them have a last name.
You don't call, right. You don't call, why?
Why
Why
don't
don't
they
you
have a
ever say
last
that?
name?
Oh
Well,
wow.
because they're the Windsors. One of the 13 families. And I also believe there's more than 13 families. That's a personal belief. I haven't heard it yet. A lot of my beliefs seem to be real, so thankfully I'm on the right track. The sources maybe that are coming into me. I think Russia is also helping Trump. There's a couple of
Yes,
people.
they are.
Yeah,
I believe that. And everybody's giving Russia such a bad rap.
it's so stupid. He's helping Trump. Because destroying
Whether
the
he's
Ukraine
real
is
or a
helping Trump.
clone, right? And whether
No, the
he's a
Ukrainian.
real or a clone, he's on the right side.
Right. That's right. I'm fucking Ukrainian and my mother was born there, and I am the first person to say, kill the, not the people. And nobody's going after the fucking people. Stop. Stop. There's nothing going on there. Nothing. I don't think my cousins would be flying to Poland if there was something going on in the neighboring country. Okay, I'll just say that. Nothing going on there except for the fucking evil being destroyed. And it's very calculated. There are innocent people. There are bystanders in every war, civilian people that get hurt, right? It happens.
Time.
But
Every
for the
time.
bigger, for the greater good, there's
So
not much
nobody
else we
wins
can do.
anymore.
Don't get involved, and most likely you won't get hurt.
What's the matter? You getting restless? I know what time it is.
Oh, trouble. Is that trouble? It's trouble.
He likes the camera.
Yeah, well, right now he's telling me, Mom, do you know
It's
what fucking time it is? It's time for
food
me to
time.
eat.
I don't think there was many people watching us. You were right. It was a bad time to go on right before dinner or during dinner. But we've been on for a couple hours
Happy
anyhow.
hour.
And I know people will watch.
I know trouble in a few
There were a
minutes.
couple of videos I wanted to show that. Yeah, no, we'll do this. We'll do that next time because we've been on a couple hours already. Is that all right with everybody else? We'll play a game.
Mhm.
Oh, we're playing game Tuesday, right? Joe, did we come up with that? Oh my
Yeah,
Well,
God.
I'm
on
gonna
Tuesdays.
bounce because I gotta feed these animals.
Okay. I'm gonna just say one other thing about this. The Hodgkin twins wrote this. I think they wrote it. Actor Pedro Pascal went on a woke tirade after J.K. Rowling's reacted to the UK Supreme Court ruling on transgender women. The UK top judges decided that the concept of sex is binary and stated that a trans woman with a gender recognition, I never even heard of this, a GRC, a gender recognition certificate, does not come within the definition of a woman. Go
Gender
figure.
recognition
Go
certificate.
figure. Some judges are that smart. Okay. J.K. Rowling went on to X to cheer on the ruling, and she said that by winning, they protected the rights of women and girls across the UK and added at 4 Women Scott, I'm so proud to know you. In response to the J.K. Rowling comment, Pascal, who, if you don't know who he is, isn't that the idiot from Star Wars? Star Wars is woke. Disney is woke. I think he does the Corona commercials. I only know that from when I lived in New Jersey, people. I do not watch TV. I have not watched TV for decades. But I'm pretty sure that's who this guy is. Joe, if you have a moment, you can look him up. Pedro Pascal.
Pedro
So in
Pascal.
response to J.K. Rowling's comments, Pascal went left. Awful, disgusting shit is exactly right. Heinous loser behavior. Adding further to his caption, he wrote, I hope I have it. Where is it?
Is this J.K. Rowling's MTF?
What? This is
J.K. Rowling.
Rowling's who wrote
MTF.
she wrote the
I
Harry
know who
Potter
she
series.
is.
Yeah.
I know. But is she male to female?
Oh, I don't know. All I know is she's pro. I don't know. I never even watched the fucking movies. The hell
What
do
you want
I
to know
know?
about that dude?
Let me just finish this. He says, I can't think of anything more vile and small and pathetic than terrorizing the smallest, most vulnerable community of people who want nothing from you except the right to exist. So he calls out J.K. Rowling over trans controversy. Awful, disgusting shit is exactly right. Heinous loser behavior. Unfucking real. He's woke. He's one of them. In fact, he looks like he could look, he's probably in the Johnny Depp or Charlie Sheen actors. It's amazing he didn't get famous until most recently with that part of Star Wars. He's in, which is the Star Wars, Joe? Did you look it up?
Yeah. He's from Santiago, Chile.
No, he's an actor. An
Yeah,
actor.
Pedro
I want to know
Pascal.
what does he do, my friend?
What movies was he in? He was in Game of Thrones, Narcos, The Great Wall, The Golden Circle,
Joe, is
or
he the guy
Kingsman,
that
I
played
think.
the Star Wars head? The
Yeah,
man.
Pedro
Okay, that's
Pascal.
who the fuck cares about anything else? Game of Thrones and that. Nobody gives a
Yeah.
shit about anything else. Look at all these kittens. We're getting bombarded. Listen, you're a jerk. You're a jerk. You're for the pathetic. You're for the pathetic few instead of the people that want to make good and have their money and love their country. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're bisexual. I don't care if you love to dress as a man and you're a woman or vice versa. I don't care. I won't stick it in your face if you don't stick it in ours. All right. And that means there's no laws. There's no law. There's no law that a man can go into a woman's bathroom. Are you stupid? Your daughters go into that bathroom. How many of these men will pretend to be men or women that want little boys or little girls, vice versa, or whatever? I'm saying it wrong, but you know what I mean. How many of these men are going to pretend to be women to go and get a little girl? We're fighting pedophilia like crazy. Are you so simple-minded that you're just thinking one way? Just like the whole abortion rule, the whole abortion law, where women think it's women's rights. Let me tell you, honey, women's rights is
Until it
understanding your
happens to
body
them.
and not getting surgery to it if not necessary. That's women's rights, my love. Not having them eat your children because, you're so stupid, you don't realize that that's what's going on. Now, maybe not back then, but this day and age, yes. They were
And they
What
all
is-
think it's hunky dory until it happens to them or theirs.
That's true. It's not
True,
fun.
true, true.
It hurts your pipes in the future. I don't say that you can't have the day after pill because shit happens. I think you should have a pill and hopefully you only have to take it once or twice in your life instead of every fucking day like the stupid. I had a girlfriend who got ovarian cancer and died at 36 for fucking pills that said, "Oh, you'll only have your period every 30 months because that's
Shit.
so fucking natural." You don't know what surgery does to you down the line. All right. I feel bad. Maybe you have to give up your body for 9 months, but if you want to give up the baby, then there's plenty of people that would take it. And guess what? It's not going to take thousands of dollars. People will give you thousands of dollars to take your baby off your hands. Because some people can't have babies and they'll adopt. And it's really ridiculous how America does this. How come all these kids in aren't being adopted in America, but yet we're getting kids from China? What?
Makes a lot of
Oh, and they
sense,
have this
doesn't
great
it?
excuse. Oh, but they're 4 or 5 years old already. Well, what happened when they were babies? They've been sitting there all this time. They take them
Yeah.
and they do experimentations on them. And if you don't know this, then you're not paying attention. You're really not paying attention. You got to wake up. Got to open up those eyes. All right. They've been stealing body parts since I don't know how long, since they were able to do it. I mean, you go back to the wars, back to the 18th century, 17th century wars in England, they'll take your fucking teeth out of your mouth because they used to fill it with gold. Now, why did we fill it with gold back then and like crappy lead or mercury now? That's another question. Wouldn't you think it would have gotten better over time, but it happened to have gotten worse? Why is that? I love those kind of questions. All right, so if somebody's going to chop off your hand way back then for that ring, that gold ring, instead of, because they can't get it off because you're all bloated and dead, or pull out your tooth because people are sinister, then you better fucking bet that they're eating your little baby parts. Now, is that really what you're fighting for? Women's rights?
Yeah.
Still not.
These are the ones that go in the fucking abortion clinics like the revolving door at Sears.
I have nothing, I have nothing. People did not learn quick enough. They did not understand. But now they do. Now they should. I mean, some people aren't religious, so they didn't have that helping them, because conservative Christians, they don't want to see babies die at any age. I actually believe, for the most part, God forbid, a girl got pregnant and she doesn't want to be. I do believe in up to I don't know. They better do it right away, is what I see, before it becomes more than a P. If something happened, you know it's an accident. But if you're having slutty sex and you don't know who baby father is and you're just getting pregnant, that's just a crime.
Well, that's
Yeah,
because Trump ain't paying for their birth control.
Well, but birth control probably hurts you more. I hate to say it. I don't take anything. I never took anything. I was very careful. And I did have a condom break in me once. Fun. Fun. That was a great few weeks. But so shit happens, and I do believe in the day after pill. Because I would have taken it at that point, so I would not have to have worried. And I fucked up in school. Oh, it hurt. It hurt because I went to school for a very long time. I was already it happened in my late 20s. I was like 29 when that happened. And I'm not trying to get all personal, but I'm saying shit happens. All right? But it would have saved me 2 or 3 weeks. I was waiting for my period. I wasn't about to. I didn't even know what to do. And guess what? I'm with the same man, so it would have been okay. With the same man it happened with. So I would have been okay in general. But I didn't know back then. We were only dating a couple of months. Maybe you should get married, but I didn't believe in marriage, guys. Sorry. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm one of those weirdos. See, I'm very liberal. I want liberals to understand this. I am kind of liberal. And some people don't like it. They don't like that I think differently. Well, you know what? I've lived. And if you didn't experience it, you really don't know. Like, I've experienced that condom breaking in me. I knew right away it broke in me. I was like, oh, shit. And it was a Trojan. For her pleasure. No. Ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah, it was
All right, you
ribbed
gotta
on
laugh
her.
when it becomes like, you gotta laugh when it becomes very, like that, like serious. All right. Are you done, Joe? Am I done?
Yes, I've talked all the talk. All the
There was
talk.
there was one last thing. I put up, not many people looked at it, but I put up, this Brooklyn kid got so pissed that his pizza was cold. I know, Mama Ray. I mean, I was like the only one thinking this was funny in this chat. Everybody was like the ignorance of New Yorkers and stuff. And I'm like, you don't fuck with the fucking, I'm not even a pizza fan. Okay. Nobody made pizza like mama, like my mom, right? Helen's sauce looks really good, but I don't eat meat anymore. Although I'm tempted.
You was hankering those meatballs.
Yeah, I know. Oof. Some things I do miss, some things. But all right, this kid definitely overreacted. It was bad. But the one thing you just don't do in New York is give cold. You don't. That's all you wait for. The pie is usually ready. right? Because people go buy slices or buy pies. So the pies is usually ready. They pop it in the oven. It goes fresh. You know, it might have been made. Usually they make it within the hour it's sold because pizza goes like this in Brooklyn. Forget it. So to get a cold slice is very fucking insulting. It really is. I am not kidding. I can't even, I never seen, you don't even get a cold pie. This is not Domino's. It's not Olive Garden. You don't, you either know it or you don't. Now, me and Mama said the same thing. And I'm not, I'm not racist, but okay. Like in my neighborhood, there was a pizzeria on every fucking block. There's no Olive Garden. There was, and they got rid of it and they made it a hotel for the homeless, for the illegals. That's what they did with the Olive Garden in Brooklyn. Didn't they, Mama? Did you hear that? I think
The one on Erskine Street?
the one across the street from Nathan's in Bay Ridge. Remember, not across where Nathan's used to be. That Nathan's was
There wasn't an
iconic. It was
Olive
there for
Garden
like
there.
100 years. Huh?
I don't remember no Olive Garden
They
there.
made it into an Olive Garden and it lasted like 6 months.
Oh,
This
that's
is
why I
how
don't remember
important.
it.
You don't
The
go
only Olive Garden I know of is near Erskine Street.
Where's that? Where's Erskine?
If you took the Bell Parkway, it's between Rockaway Parkway and
Oh, oh, that's like,
near the 7-5.
yeah, that's going out.
Yeah, it's going out towards Long Island, but that was where the 7-5 precinct is, where they put all the new officers that graduated from the academy.
I know where you're talking about, but I'm just so bad with the whole, I don't know. I'm bad with geography. I don't know how I got around the city. Well, the city was easy. You just walk it. It's all in numbers. So I just want to go a little further. And again, I am definitely not racist. You can take pictures. You can look at my pictures and my friends over the years. Brooklyners are they just can't be racist. You can't because you have everybody around you. You wouldn't live there. You wouldn't live there if you were a true racist. Let's put it that way. So, but the thing is, these pizzerias were taken over by the Muslims in my neighborhood specifically. And in that one, I don't know what part of Brooklyn that was, that they had an open pizzeria, Mama, but because it
Yeah,
reminds me of Coney Island or something.
yeah, it was a 99-cent pizza place, and it was the guy making the pizza was Muslim.
They were Muslim. They were obviously Muslim because you can hear even when he talked, when he spoke. Um, there was you ne 10 years ago that never was possible. It was always an Italian. And then the delivery boys on their bikes were the boys from high school or even grade school would go and deliver and make a couple of dollars. This is what happened.
Huh.
The Italian, I hate to say it, but they really took pride. When I tell you, my mother used to watch them flip the pizzas in the air, the dough, to learn how to do, and this is the right way, guys. I'm doing it the exact way, and I've done it myself. It's an art, it's a beauty, it's something. And if they're not trained or they don't want to learn the Italian way, then what the fuck? You're just doing it for a job. Trump don't want that. Trump is giving everybody the same education online or vocational schools. That's what Trump is going to do. Everybody is getting the same education. Not some curriculum that somebody thought like that critical race theory would work. Who thinks that would work on children? Children don't realize race. Why introduce it to them? I didn't even realize how bad race was until I moved to fucking Florida and I was barely 39. When my lawnmower people told me, you don't know how many don't hire us because my husband is brown. And I'm like, I didn't even recognize it. I didn't even recognize it because what the fuck? I didn't even think of it.
It's pretty sad.
I know.
That's the reason why.
Right. My stepson is saying the same thing. We lived in the most racially diverse place. That's exactly what the kid said. Smart. And he's right. So with that, I'll say Then I just read in the Post that someone in New York gets stabbed 52 times a second. The poor bastard.
Oh, there was one for the books the other day.
Nobody got that. It went over. The one guy keeps getting stabbed. Never mind. All right. Never mind. Go
The
on.
same guy keeps getting stabbed.
Yes. 52 seconds. Every 52 seconds. 52 times every second. The poor guy. Okay. Anyhow, what were you going to say?
Speaking of killed in the subway, there was a guy eating a dead guy in the subway the other day.
Where was this? Please don't tell me Brooklyn.
I don't know what I gotta ask Eddie, the guy from the supermarket, because he told me this. He saw it. I don't know what part of New York it was.
It's so sad. This is so sad. Because a lot of the people that stay in the subways, guys, are vets. I mean, a lot of them are dying off now, unfortunately, but
this guy was dead. I don't think he was a vet because all his stuff was robbed. He was robbed. And
so
then he
somebody
was
killed
dead.
him.
Yes. And this motherfucker decided he was gonna.
Well, either A, he's a cannibal, B, he's sick, or C, he's on a drug. Now, there was that drug that causes zombieism, and they just think it's natural to eat the people. I don't get, why would anybody want to take that? Oh, we got to get this shit out of this country. I mean, it's a free country, but not if it's going to disturb your next door neighbor, right? You don't do things that are going to hurt your neighbors. And what I mean by neighbors is the whole nation. You don't allow an illegal into this country if it bothers the nation. You don't allow drugs or guns into this country if it's going to hurt the nation. And
we
it
got to
did.
get rid of Big Pharma also.
The what?
Big Pharma.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that hurts every nation. Plus,
Yeah.
most of our medicine comes, that's one thing we definitely get a lot of from China. Anybody
Yep.
ever think of that? Of
Yeah.
why we need such high tariffs too? Not just these political bastards that are getting money,
Yep.
but absolutely their medication. They make like, I don't know. The toiletry and paper goods made no sense because 80% of that is made in America. But people went stupid.
And
The
people
great,
don't realize their
great,
fucking drugs come from China.
right, right. Get with it, my friends. Educate yourself, and maybe we'll have an easier time connecting. I try to be in the middle, but if you don't understand the conspiracies, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not sitting here every day trying to teach Joe, talking with Mama Helen, getting all these videos and all these informations. You know, sometimes it's wrong. I don't know if Jackie Onassis is actually a man, but it definitely looks like in a lot of pictures it was a male. I've only drawn tons of nudes of men and women to clarify that I'm pretty good with it. And I mean, like most of us conspiracists have been doing this 8 or 9 years, we've been looking for the differences. And guys, don't forget that Michael Obama fooled us. I was working in the bar when I saw her come out in one of these outfits, and I was like, geez, man, literally, man. I was like, that don't look right. But it didn't really bother me then, but I did draw her out. I drew her on a coaster. I was like, there's something fucking wrong with that woman. And she had been in office for a few, he had been in office for a few years already.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it
You
at
want
that
to
point,
hear
but now it
something
makes a shitload of
hilarious?
sense, don't it? Huh?
You want to hear something hilarious?
Of
I
course.
was telling people about 9 years ago that he was a guy. And they all thought I was off the wall, wacko jacko shit. Told me I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And
No,
then it all started coming out in the wash. You'd see him
right.
coming out of the gym, uh, flicking his package. You saw his package when he was dancing on the
Yes.
Ellen show.
And then, of
Mhm.
course, Joan Rivers was,
She
And then
said it.
Joan Rivers
yeah.
outed her and
And
got
she was,
knocked off for it.
she wasn't dead, guys. They didn't kill Joan Rivers. She didn't die of any kind of, she pretended. She's not dead. She's in hiding, but she ain't dead.
Yeah, I know, because she was seen in New York.
There you go. She was seen with her best friend, which is her agent.
Oh, that's
And
right.
yeah. And she had no makeup on, but it was her hair and her voice. And she didn't realize that she was being recorded outside one of her restaurants. There are people that are in on it.
That's why her daughter didn't make such a big deal about her death.
Right. Right. And there are other people like, what's the one from Princess Leia? Why do I always forget her name?
Yeah, the name escapes me.
But her mother died the day after because they knew they were evil. They were evil. Hi, Hawkeye. I have it on the tip of my tongue. No. Oh, come on, Joe. What's her name?
I know who you're talking about.
This is
Carrie
is
Fisher.
Thank you, Fisher. This is why, I mean, Fisher. It's a toys are Fisher. Fisher Price. They made up fucking names, my friends. And they did it for Hollywood and they did it for politicians. So
Right,
people
nobody in
wouldn't realize
Hollywood
that
goes by their real name.
right.
All the names
That's
are
what I
made
just
up.
said. They're
No, they
all
don't.
made up. What can I do for you? What is it? Hawkeye's here. All right, so I guess we'll end it.
Okay.
I wanted to explain one last thing. My good friend had a botched circumcision. It was such a ripoff. Love you guys. Take no. Nobody. Okay.
Yep, they ripped it off, all right.
Love you guys. Take care.
Goodbye, Psycho.